I'll tell you a secret. I have been living off my investments and savings for the past year because the pandemic has severely impacted my business. Life's going to throw you curveballs. It's your job to swing the bat. If you're bad with money, if you have no idea where and how to start your financial freedom journey, if you're someone who has no idea where your money goes by the end of the month while you wait for your paycheck, then this video is for you. It can be frustrating to not be financially free, but with just a little planning, you can get there and be stress-free. Now let's talk about what financial freedom really means. For me, it's having a certain amount in savings that gives me a feeling of security and freedom. For you, it might be 50 lakhs, for someone 20, and for someone in crores. It depends on your lifestyle. If I were to lose my job today, I should have enough money to survive the next 2 years at least. And that's for me personally. Usually the amount should cover you for the next 6 months or a year. For me, financial freedom is to be financially comfortable, to be able to afford my lifestyle while I work for a better lifestyle, to be able to afford what I want, whenever I want, without having to wait for a paycheck at the end of the month, not having to borrow money from anyone in case of emergency. And I can safely say that I am at a place in my life where I am financially free. And I swear it's easy. It's not rocket science. And honestly, I didn't even know it's called financial freedom. This is what I've learned since childhood. I don't like to worry about money. I'm sure you don't like to worry about money either. If there's one goal we all have in common, it's that we all want to make money. Money shouldn't be a major stress in your life. Knowing that you have fewer debts, your emergencies are covered, and your retirement is being planned for reduces your stress. You sleep better, your overall health improves, and you feel happier about life. And when you're financially free, you don't have to stick with your high-stress job. You have the freedom to chase your dreams and do what you really love. As Kanye said, having money isn't everything. Not having money is. While it's true that money cannot buy you happiness, it can build you the life you truly want. Money gives you the freedom to do things that will improve the quality of your life. And that can bring happiness. Having enough savings, investments, and cash on hand to afford the lifestyle you want. All you need is a little financial planning. I'll tell you a secret. I have been living off my investments and savings for the past year because the pandemic has severely impacted my business. And I thank God every single day that I was smart enough to save all these years because I've always liked to have a certain amount with me in investments and savings. We all have a financial personality type. Some are frugal, some are spenders. I personally am a saver. I don't spend money recklessly. And that's helped me accumulate, invest, and become financially free. With just a few simple steps, you can be financially free and in fact grow your money. But you also have to remember that this doesn't happen overnight. So now let me take you through the steps to financial freedom. So the first thing you need to do is, of course, set a financial goal for yourself. The meaning of financial freedom is different for different people. Some may want to have an emergency fund. Some may want to retire early and travel extensively. Some may want to have enough money to spend luxuriously. So you have to know what your financial goal is. It doesn't have to be like everyone else's. Your financial goal is going to be unique to you. And I have to tell you here that your financial goal is going to keep changing. Maybe in 5 years, you want to have 50 lakhs instead of 20 because you changed your job and you're earning really well. You have to create a blueprint to achieve your goals. Get specific. Don't be vague. At what age do you want to have the financial freedom? How much money do you want to have in your bank account or in investments? It's important to set small goals for yourself initially so you don't overwhelm yourself and give up. Once you get used to the process, once you get comfortable, you can set bigger goals for yourself. You have to walk before you run. Make sure you go step by step. You don't have to do everything at once. Once you build the momentum, it's going to be fairly easy to check off all the steps. One of the most important mindset tips I can give you is that you really need to believe that you can be financially free. I don't really hear a lot of financial gurus talking about this, but I think this is one of the most important mindset hacks when it comes to be financially free. It all starts here in your mind. When you begin to save money, you do feel positive and happy about it. We all want financial security. Money is energy. If you're not happy with your financial situation and you keep cribbing about it, your financial situation is not going to change, let alone getting better. You don't have to be forever in the shadow of your money worries. How do some people keep growing their wealth? They just get richer and richer. while some never have enough. It's all about your mindset. It believes what you tell it over and over. Worrying about money is never gonna get you more money. And I get it. It's easier said than done. But believe me when I say this, I have personally seen my money grow when I'm happy about it than when I'm worried about it. It's the financial story we keep telling ourselves. It's what we heard while growing up. It's your money blueprint. I made a detailed video on this, how to identify money blocks, how to remove the money blocks in this video, so make sure you check it out. I'll link it in the description. So change your money beliefs. Rewire your brain into thinking abundantly. Once you start doing that, you will begin to attract more money into your life. I know, when one is broke, how are you gonna think abundantly? But then that's the trick. You start with replacing one negative thought about money with a positive one, then two, and then 3. And then you realize you've developed the abundance mindset. And having a security blanket helps a lot. When you at least have an emergency fund, your subconscious mind will be relaxed and not worried. You won't have to put in a lot of work to change your scarcity mindset because it's not thinking about money in a negative way now. So that takes you a step ahead, closer to financial freedom, closer to your financial goal. The next step is to be debt-free. List all your debts and pay them off. Start with the least number on your list and move on to the higher number. Do you know 80% of the Americans are caught up in debt? That's a huge number. Imagine not owing anyone anything. How empowering is that thought? Feel the relief? Now plan and do that in real. It's the most important step to becoming financially free. Now it can take you some time to pay off your debt, maybe 6 months, a year or two, but just develop the mindset that the debt would go away. Once you pay it off and get it out of the way, you have nothing standing in your way to becoming financially free and building your wealth. I was never in debt, so I could directly jump to creating an emergency fund, but I would suggest you to pay off your debt first and then move on to the next step. Your credit card bills, your student loan, paid off. Now let's talk about the emergency fund. We all know what happened in 2020 and what's happening now. So many people lost their jobs during the pandemic and the number is just going up. In such cases, if you don't have an emergency fund, how are you going to survive? Life's going to throw you curveballs. It's your job to swing the bat. If you have money, it'll make you survive the next 6 months. Or if there's a health emergency or some other emergency you need money for, it keeps you out of debt. Human beings are creatures of habit. Once you start saving a certain amount every single month, it wouldn't seem so hard after a point. If you want to see an extraordinary difference in your wealth, you will need to make small changes over a period of time. If you start saving 10% of your income, be disciplined and gradually move it to 15, 20, you'll not even notice the difference in your standard of living because it will be so gradual. And soon you'll have the emergency fund ready. One of the easiest ways is to open a bank account only for your emergency fund and then don't touch it. Set up an automatic monthly transfer of a certain amount. It can be 5%, 10% of your income. You should be able to get your emergency fund ready in a few months so you can move to the next step. Don't spend more than you make. Such a simple financial rule, still people don't follow it. I cannot stress this enough. Commit to living below your means. Please, for the love of God, don't spend on things you cannot afford. You have to be realistic and practical. You will not get ahead if you put the cart before the horse. Broke people try to act rich, while on the other hand, rich people don't have to act. Some of the most successful people are also the simplest. Look at these rich and famous people when they started out versus how they acted when they actually got rich. Look at Jay-Z when he was starting out versus when he actually got rich. Mike Tyson went broke. So many lottery winners go broke. Why? Because they forget to make their money make them money. Instead, they indulge in show-off. Making money is easy, but you have to make it last. It is the single most important financial habit you can develop. It makes the rest of the steps to financial freedom easier. But of course, having said that, it is hard, but once you start spending less than you earn, it gets easier. When you distinguish between your wants and your needs, the process is going to get easier. Remember, when you spend more than you earn, you're only going to accumulate debt. And we want to stay away from debt. Mastering a frugal lifestyle by having a mindset of living life to the fullest with less is not so hard. Ask yourself if you really need that purchase. Go through your bills. See where you're spending unnecessarily on. I personally like to stay away from memberships and recurring expenses, except the ones you can't really avoid, like your rent, your phone bills. So you got to ask yourself, are the purchases really contributing to the value and joy in your life? Now that we have cleared our debt, our emergency fund is ready, and we are spending less than we earn, it's time to build our wealth. The money that you were earlier putting into your emergency fund and paying off your debt can now be invested. Investing is one of the best ways to grow your money exponentially over a period of time. If you want to know why you should be investing, then you should check out this video. I've already covered my investing strategies and the best investment options in this video, so make sure you check it out. I've also discussed how to calculate how much you should invest and how much money are you really losing if you don't invest as early as possible, and so much more. Watch it if you want to learn more about investing. I'll link it in the description. Invest at least 10 to 15% of your gross income. You want to start investing as early as possible because that's when you see your money grow. And that is also going to make you retire early. There are so many ways you can invest and build your wealth. Mutual funds, gold, cryptocurrency. So make sure you watch this video. I share the importance of making money while you sleep. I think we underestimate the power of tracking our expenses. I have been doing this for 8 years now, ever since I started earning. A lot of people have no idea how much they spend in a month or in a year. I track every single expense, be it groceries, takeouts, the big purchases, everything, every single penny. There are several apps that help you track the expenses, but I use the Excel in my phone. It adds up the expenses and makes it easier for me. It helps you assess where your money is going and cut back on unnecessary expenses. I know a lot of people don't track their expenses. They think it's an added burden. But if you cannot take out 60 seconds to track your expenses, I don't know what to tell you. For me, it's become a habit now. It keeps me sane and gives me a precise idea of where I am financially. Okay, maybe you're tracking your expenses, but are you tracking your income? Yes, it's equally important to track your income, especially if you're a business owner or a freelancer. It helps you assess your current financial situation. Sometimes you don't even realize that you've hit your financial goal for the month if you don't track every single day. It also makes you feel grateful for the money that is coming in, which in turn can bring more money because it creates an abundance mindset. So I have created an Excel sheet that lets me track my income from all my income sources every single day. It helps me track my expenses. I can set money goals for each month and in a year, how much I actually made in a year, how much I was able to save each month, and it's kept me sane. It also has some really inspiring quotes to keep you going. Let me share my tracking tool with you for free. I'll link it in the description, and it'll be free only for a limited time, so make sure you don't miss it. Pay off your mortgages early. Now, it may not be as urgent as paying off your debt, but it is a good idea to pay off your mortgages early. People are pretty much paying off their loans almost half their life. Obviously, there's no such thing as a good debt. Loans won't go away if you ignore them. So repay them as quickly as possible if you want to keep them from eating into your wealth. And owing money can cause stress to some people. You can pay a little extra each month or pay a huge chunk upfront. My brother, for example, paid his 25-year home loan in just 8 years. It saves you money on interest, in fact, a chunk of money. It frees up your cash flow, which can be useful. Now, this step comes after building your emergency fund and your investments. So do your calculations, see what works for you financially. And another way to be financially free is to have a side hustle. Focus on financial literacy, reinvest your money, and let compound interest work its magic. Let's recap. You set your financial goals, you rewire your brain, pay off your debt, create an emergency fund, don't spend more than you make, invest, track your income and expenses, and pay your mortgages early. So tell me, where are you in your journey to financial freedom? How close are you to being financially free? Or if you are already financially free, tell me in the comments. I love talking to you guys. Give this video a big thumbs up if you like it. Subscribe and hit the bell icon to be notified every single time I post a new video. See you in my next video.